Hello, people of the internet. Today, I'd like to make a video talking about my trip down to Super73 and what I get to learn when I was down there. And yeah, let's just talk about that right now. Super73, really cool people. I got to go down to Irvine and tour their place and get to meet them and talk with them for a couple hours actually about marketing and strategy and where they've been and where they're going and like that. Here's a quick video on my Instagram of the new Super 73 RX. I got to ride this bike and pretty fantastic. So go check that out. I went down to Super 73 with Camerads, a YouTuber that I met at the launch event for the RX, and he's a cool guy. Really nice to drive down with him and just get to know him better and like that. So check out his channel. I'll post it in the description. Before we get into the video, I'd like to shout out a couple Instagrams of some businesses that I personally work with and or know and really believe in, and they're doing great things. And I always want to highlight brands that are just doing marketing in an authentic way and helping to push the world towards something more sustainable. So first one here is Miss Robot. This is my friend's robot company. They recently just did a shot with Migos and Travis Scott, and the robot was in the video. You can see it in the back here. So go check them out. Hello, Miss Robot on Instagram. Really cool people. Super knowledgeable. If you're in LA and need a robot arm to do camera work, definitely check them out. They're really cool. Another guy, Dadass Films. His name is Matt. He's super cool. We were chatting the other night about some upcoming projects that he wants to work on. But yeah, check him out. He makes some cool content. This is his like persona, which is Dadass, and we talked a little bit about that. So I might do a video with him in the future. Super cool guy though. Check him out. Dadass _ films on Instagram. And another brand I really believe in is some friends started a coffee shop up in New Hampshire, and their Instagram's awesome. It's really cool stuff if you are into like cafe culture and stuff like that. Go check them out, and you can go to their website and buy some coffee. And they're awesome people. They source their coffee responsibly, and they're killing it up there. They just got into Whole Foods, so congrats to them on that. And if you need coffee and you want to try out a new brand, maybe change it up a little, go check them out. Go right on their website. Actually, I've done some tracking and stuff on their website and for Google Analytics, but yeah, you should go check them out and see what they're all about and buy some coffee. It's $15. It's a pretty good deal for really good coffee. So go check them out. But yeah, it's a shout out for this episode. And of course, follow Mongo.digital on Instagram. We've got 39 followers right now, but we're growing and we're helping brands connect with their ideal audience online. So let's get into the Super 73 meeting that I had down in Irvine with them. Like I said, I spent a couple hours down there and it was really good. I came away really encouraged with what they're doing and looking forward to seeing what they have to show in the future. There's some big plans for the brand, and definitely looking forward to see how they grow. But I'll just get right into this video by saying that I was not paid by Super 73 to make this video. I hope that's obvious. I'm skeptical of any type of paid marketing, and so I want to lead with that I wasn't paid. And full disclosure, they did give me a free shirt. They gave me a free hat, which I have on my desk. And they were very nice people, so they offered to give me a free Red Bull and stuff when I was there. And obviously let me ride their bike and give me a tour and stuff. But that in no way pays for my integrity or my opinion. And so all of these opinions that I share and like that are my own. But I was able to get some more information on the brand when I was down there, so that was good. Yeah, the people, let's just start with that. Sometimes I'll be reading off this doc that I made. I made a big doc. I have my iPad here, so I'll be reading off of that a little bit. You can see the doc here, and I'll post it as a blog post as well. But I have lots of thoughts, and you can pause the video and read the thoughts I have that I've put out there so that you know that I'm not just making this up as I go. I do put some work into these videos, even though the format might not tell you that. But I'll be reading off my iPad, so sometimes I'll just read directly from there because the thoughts I feel are well laid out. But yeah, it's easy to forget the brands are just people. Businesses are just people. They put out their best effort to create this aura around their brand and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just people in an office doing their best to try and help the brand succeed. So it's the same with Super 73. I got to meet their marketing department. I got to meet a couple people out in the back in the factory area, the warehouse and stuff. I got to meet the CEO. I chatted with him for about a half an hour, and then I also got to chat with the head of marketing, whose name is Michael, and Christiana, and they were great. They're really, really, really nice people and very welcoming. And I was a little bit concerned that maybe when I went down there, they would make me sign an NDA, and then it'd be a lot more criticism of any video I would make in the future. But there was none of that. Went into the front door, shook Michael's hand, and he got right into it. He was just starting to evangelize the brand, show me what they're working on, and like that. And we got right into the tour. I got to see the R&D area. I wasn't able to film there for obvious reasons, but they're bringing a lot of cool stuff to market soon. I think 2020 is going to be a big year for Super 73. I think they're really going to hit their stride, and some of the stuff I saw back there was cool. I mean, I can't share the product specifically, but they had a big metal printer that can print like 3 by 3 by 3 foot volume, which is, if you know about 3D printing, that's pretty awesome. And so they're constantly testing. And even with the bike that I got to ride, they had 3D printed like the headlight and stuff. And so I had to be a little bit careful. But yeah, it's really cool. They're DIY people. I talked to LeGrand Cruz, who's the CEO, and he was talking about how he got his start in the DIY e-bike scene like 10 years ago. So these people are tinkerers and like that, and I think, like I said, the stuff that they'll have in the next couple of years coming out will surprise a lot of people. And yeah, that's all. I can't say any more about it. But anyway, let's talk about the influencers, because that's a big point of the original video I made, was talking about the influencers. And I thought that they just paid influencers to say nice things about their bikes, and then obviously then they would sell a lot of bikes and like that. It turns out it's a bit different. Super 73 is not paying influencers. They maintain that they've never spent any money paying influencers for their bikes, and that's awesome. Obviously they can say something and it could not be true, but I do believe that they're telling the truth on this, and I do believe that just based on the details and stuff they shared, that they're really trying their hardest to make sure that if an influencer wants a bike, someone on YouTube, Instagram, they've done collaborations with Will Smith, they can get the bike, that they want, and they just go out of their way to make sure that they're happy, and they don't change money, and money doesn't change hands, I should say, and they move on. And if the product is good enough, that influencer will post about it and they will share it, and like that. Obviously, they might be getting a free bike out of the deal, which is great. But like if you're like Will Smith or Casey Neistat and stuff, like you've got access, you've got money, you could buy the bike yourself. It's not like a game changer like it would be for someone like maybe you or I, someone watching this video, who's like, yeah, $3,000 or $3,500 is a lot to shell out on a bike. So you have to take that into consideration. They do get a free bike, but it's also like they could buy that bike, they could buy 10 of those bikes, and they wouldn't even notice the difference in their bank account. So but yeah, they shared a story about how Casey Neistat tried to get one of the original bikes from Lithium Cycles Kickstarter, and they were like, I don't know if it's Casey proof quite yet. We're trying to do better things with the bike and stuff, and they're hesitant to send it to him. And he ended up getting one from someone in New York City who had pre-ordered one, and he really liked it, and that sort of started the relationship there. And so, with a lot of brands and stuff, and if you're watching this video thinking, what does Super 73 do that I can take away from my own brand? It's just like, be authentic, be genuine, and bust your ass to help people. Just really like the stories they shared and stuff of like how the stuff they've had to do to help brands, integrate Super 73 into their projects and like that. You can tell that there's a passion there that isn't just like, okay, I'm going to get my paycheck and go home. But these people do seem very dedicated to helping Super 73 grow the brand and become better and like that. So yeah, you really got to give it your all if you want your brand to succeed. And the ways that Super73 has found to collaborate with YouTubers and Instagram and other influencers and like that is commendable. The fact that it's organic, that they're not paying for it, is commendable. We've all seen the Clash of Clans or Raid Shadow Legends or Squarespace or any meal subscription service or whatever it is. We've seen the ads for it, and we know these personalities that are representing those ads, and we can tell that like they're not being authentically themselves when they're doing that because they're being paid, and you can't be objective and authentic. It's harder to be that way when you're being paid to put something in a positive light. So it was encouraging to find that Super73 isn't paying influencers for their opinions. So yeah, moving on. I kind of camped on that a lot, but that was important to me because that was one of my biggest objections. Is like, I don't know how long that can last because an influencer can come along and do that with another bike. But yeah, it's organic. It's not paid. So great. Anytime I can get performance out of organic advertising, like I'm all about it. I preach organic advertising with everyone I work with all my clients. I want them to do more organic. So the fact that they're doing that it's fantastic. Keep it up, guys. It really was encouraging to see that. Their response. This is the next section here that I have on my Google Doc, which you can see is totally real right here. Their response. The new R series is literally that's Super73's response to the internet. They went through, they looked at all the comment sections, they looked at everything that people were saying about their bikes and then why they aren't good and what they want to be better. If you look at this bike here, let's just go ahead and, I do have this up for a reason, I promise. But if we look at this bike, I wish I could zoom in more, but I can't. It's got mounts everywhere. So I learned the other day, you can mount the battery here up top, you can mount it here, or you can mount it here on the front of the frame. And also you can have more than one battery. So this thing will do 40 miles at 20 miles an hour range. So you could have two of them and this thing becomes something that you can take around the city. I'm in East LA. I regularly have meetings out by the beach or in Hollywood or something like that. I could totally take this bike, just take some back roads, get out there. It might take a little bit longer, but who cares? I got the time. It's fine. This becomes a legitimate option. And if you're in the city, you're not going, more than, I don't know, like 25 miles an hour anyway, most of the time. So it becomes a bit more of an option, especially with that extra range of, even if I get to a client and I can't plug in, I don't have to worry about being able to get back. It's just a matter of locking this thing up so people don't steal it. But they also have the anti-theft and like that. So if it does get stolen, you have some options with that. But yeah, their RX and their R and just the R series in general is a direct response, it seems, to what the internet has said. And that's what they shared with me, is that they looked at all the comments, they found the like top 10 objections that people had, and they, answered them with this new bike. So the bike has gearing in the back. The bike has suspension, front and back. The seat is definitely more comfortable, and I can say that as someone who's ridden the old one, ridden the new one. The seat is more comfortable for sure. There's no doubt about it. There's just more modularity. I've also found that there's like water bottle mounts all around. There's like a couple back here, there's a couple in mid frame. If you're not occupying these with a battery, there's some in the middle here. There's some on the side of the bike here, on both sides. So there's like water bottle mounts just like on a bicycle everywhere. So that gives you some more options and stuff. I think like people who are into like 3D printing and stuff will come up with some really cool solutions for this bike. I could even see something where like you create like a compartment for the middle that can open and close and you can store stuff in there. But yeah, I mean, people I think will be able to run wild with all the options you have. Like I said, you have all these mounts here, you have a mount here, 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 all the triple mounts in the middle. You could take this thing off and mount a water bottle there too, or mount it right on top. There's a lot of options there, so it's pretty cool. I'm not like a huge believer on the extra gears and stuff that they have in the back. I don't really think people are buying these to pedal, but whatever. They talked to those people and they saw that they want that, so they added it. I'm honestly just waiting for the day where we can just say, let's put some pegs on it and make it a motorcycle. If I had it, I probably would just take a lot of this stuff off. But that's just me. What else? So yeah, they're clearly listening. This new bike is phenomenal. I got to ride the bike. I rode it in mode 2, I think, which is like the throttle only mode 2, and it was great. I mean, it was peppy. The new tires definitely feel pretty substantial, but the bike felt solid. Like, it felt bulletproof. Really good. So no objections there. They had this little e-ink display on the right side. It was like a circle, and it would just like read out your speed. That's fantastic. I know they have the app and stuff, and I'm sure that will do the same, but I really did enjoy the e-ink display. That was nice. That's one thing I like about the boosted rev, is it has the speedometer in the middle, and I can just look down. It's just like the only thing it really displays other than battery info. So it's really easy to like see how fast I'm going, which is cool. It's fun to be like, oh, I'm keeping up with cars. How fast am I going? Like that. So that was cool. One thing I talked to them about, and they sort of led with, because I think they saw my video and they knew, like, they definitely saw my video because that's why I got invited there. But they saw that I talked a bit about the internet's frustration with not having numbers on like voltage specifically. And yeah, I'm just going to read what I put for that because I think it's important. So Super73's ambiguity around voltage and technical specs that are coming into the common vernacular probably won't be changing anytime soon. The company is confident that they can deliver a top-tier product experience rivaling any other e-bike brand out there, and that it's more about doing what they can with what they have than winning an arbitrary numbers game. While talking with the CEO, Legrand Cruz, he used an analogy of having a car with a V8 versus a V6 with twin turbos. So for non-car people, a turbo creates pressure in the engine, which increases the ability of the engine to deliver fuel and air, which makes more power. So the thing here works because you could have a smaller engine that produces more power than a bigger engine because it's more efficient. So I think that what Super73 is trying to do is just prove that numbers don't tell the whole story. And I think Tesla does that with their Model S compared to like the Taycan. The Taycan's at a way higher voltage architecture. I think it's like maybe 600 volts compared to like 300 volts of the Tesla. And the Tesla is pretty much neck and neck with the Taycan, the Model S, ludicrous mode. So you can do a lot with it, and numbers don't tell the whole story. Personally, I love numbers. I like geeking out about them, even if it's just me being stupid. I do like to see the numbers, but that's their strategy. And it seems like, having ridden the new bike, it seems like, yeah, it's just as good as anything else I've ridden out there. So, yeah. With digging more into the weeds, Legrand also shared some key differences between Super73 and other e-bike companies on the market. Super73 is a volume distributor that can get away with some of the higher that can't get away with some of the higher end voltage systems smaller boutique brands can offer. Once you meet or cross the threshold of 60 volts, stricter regulations come into play related to who can ship your product, and it definitely increases the cost and the complexity of the operation. A great example of this is the Onyx or the Suron. Shipping can be north of $400 for either of those bikes because they have to have their own dedicated like shipper that like brings it down on a flatbed or a truck, box truck or something like that. And one thing I also learned that Legrand started building DIY e-bikes, and he clearly has a passion for the product. He's not just some suit that comes in from Silicon Valley and it's like, all right, we know how we're going to grow your company, and it's not listening to people, it's doing what I say. He is a DIY builder. And so that's encouraging to see that as well. He does care about it, and he's also tinkered a lot and got his hands dirty. Or maybe not that dirty because it's electric, doing this stuff himself. Regulation. Stricter e-bike regulation in the U.S. is coming, and Super73 would like to have a seat at that table. There are Class 2 stickers all over the bike, and I was not allowed to put the bike personally into unlimited mode, so they are being respectful of that. I do reserve the right to say if you ship a bike that can go 35 in unlimited mode and there's nothing you have to cut or anything to get that, other it's just pushing a button a few times, that might be problematic for the industry at whole. But also, I don't put that liability necessarily on the manufacturer. I put it on the individual rider. People have the right to be responsible. And I went on a bit of a tangent on a previous video I recorded, but I do think that there's a huge responsibility for the riders here. If you're one of these early adopters or one of the people that's coming into this market, you can't just ride like a hooligan. You really have to respect the fact that however you ride, like if someone sees you on an e-bike and you might be the only person they see on an e-bike, they're going to think that this is what e-bikes are, is they're just crazy, stupid riders that ride around and abuse the power that the systems have and run red lights and all this. So like, there's YouTube channels like Alien Rides and stuff like that. They show off rides with scooters and e-bikes and all this stuff, and people running red lights and smoke bombs and just like terrorizing the public up in San Francisco. And it's like, guys, like this is all of us here, and just a few of us are going to ruin it for everyone. So like, you should take into account like that you have responsibility to be safe and be responsible when you're out riding in public, especially, if you're in the desert or something like that, like go out, have fun. But like you have to ride carefully when you're around other people. So that's something I still am not sort of set on, is like, what are the limitations these bikes should come with, even though they have really high power capabilities and high speed capabilities. Like, what does it come down? Comes down to me more personally to the rider. I like having the capability, but to know when to use it, comes down to the rider and like that. So obviously this is a big gray area, and the legislation is still up in the air, but it'd be in the best interest of Super73 or any electric bike or electric micromobility company to like want a seat at the table when the regulations start to get more serious here in the U.S. So what are we looking forward to in the coming years? This is something I got to talk with them about. 2020 is going to be a big year, I think, for Super73. They're opening offices in Holland, so that's cool. That's like, Bike Central in Europe. I got to go to Amsterdam last year and was there for a couple weeks, and yeah, there's bikes everywhere. It's awesome. There's obviously there's going to be a demand for electric bikes as well. One thing I saw was a lot of bikes with like carts in the front. You can put groceries, you can put kids. A lot of those bikes I saw when I was there at the bike shops, I stopped in, talked to the owners and stuff. They have electric capabilities. They have hubs, they have batteries and like that. So they're electric assist. But that's the thing, is like a lot of European market, you can't have like throttle only operation. You have to have an assist, and it usually has to be under a certain voltage. So Super73 is getting into that market, and they are trying their damnedest to make sure that they can set the tone for a regulation like that over there too. So it's respectable. It's cool that they, they're not shying away. They're opening an office there. They're trying to like get stuff up and running. So that's really cool, because I see a lot of comments on Electrek, especially about the European market not caring, about Super73 not caring about the European market. So conclusion, and like I said, you can always see this. I'll just post this doc. I'll just share it with the whole YouTube. But you can always see this doc and what my thoughts are, so you can tell that I am, you can read out my thoughts if you want. I'll also post something on my website, which is mongo.digital. Check it out. It's pretty cool. My tags. But yeah, it's a cool site. There I am right there. It's me without a hat on. But yeah, you can check out my thoughts on this in the blog post as well. But I'll just say it now. My conclusion is coming away from this is now that I'm seeing more of what they're doing with their operation. Yeah, I don't know. I've been encouraged. I'd love to see more specs personally, because I'm a numbers guy, and like every couple of years I build a new computer, and I'm always looking at the numbers and specs and all that. And for any of you gamers out there, it's an i9 and a 2080 Ti currently. That's my specs. But it's like fun to get into the numbers, even if they're arbitrary. It's just fun to get into. So I wish they'd share more of that. I don't know if it'd have as big of an impact on things as they think. It's just nice to have those numbers rather than having to be a detective. But I get it. It also just paints a very small part of the picture of what they're doing. So I understand why maybe they don't put more time into that. The product stands for itself. I think it's good. I rode the RX, I believe, and the bike was fantastic. It got up to speed great. It felt super sturdy. I didn't hear any rattles, anything like that. The only thing I noticed was like a little bit of brake squeak, but that's easily fixable. I have that on my road bike, and I just put some stuff on it, and it's good. So that's one thing I noticed. But yeah, it looks like they're trying to build a brand that's based on consistent improvement, and they're trying to listen to their customers. I think the R series is a testament to that. I think when people get them in their hands, they're going to see that. Obviously, they haven't shipped yet, but I think from what they showed me with the R series, that is something that, proves they're listening to their customers. And, perhaps some of the brands are focusing on numbers and that exclusively, and maybe trying to like make that how the public talks about these bikes, because that's all they have. They don't have the community. Super 73 has built a unique community, and that's something to note if you're a brand who's looking to take something away from Super 73. If you're just a brand outside of the e-bike industry, or if maybe you are a e-bike brand, like Super 73 has the best following among e-bike brands. There isn't another e-bike brand out there that's popping off like they are, and that's intentional, and they're really embracing that community. And the fact that they're not paying influencers is encouraging as well. So it's cool that that's organic. I think it'd be wise to continue that. Just keep on stoking that flame, because that is working for them. And, you've got all this backlog of content on their Super 73 Instagram and YouTube and like that you can see that people like the brand, and they have meetups and stuff here in LA. So that's cool too. Yeah, whether you love them or hate them, they're confident in who they are. And that's why they'll be able to build a lasting legacy and have a way to sort of have a seat at the table of regulation and sort of define what these new category of e-bikes are. They're not a bicycle. They're not a motorcycle. There's something in between. And so this new category is being developed, and they are squarely within that space of sort of helping decide what it is and what people want and what they get and like that. And this new product is great. I got to ride it, and like I said, they didn't pay me for this, but yeah, it's fantastic. I'm really excited about it, and who knows, maybe one day I'll get one. Thanks for watching, guys. This was probably a long video. I don't have a time count on it. Let's check it out. It's 26 minutes. But I hope you know that like I did spend time writing this article and putting out my thoughts. I spent time driving down there. I paid my own personal money. I paid $30. I chipped in to rent a car to get down there because my wife had the car for the day. Down in Irvine from LA, it was about 3 hours of commuting that day. And so this isn't something I've been paid for, and it's something that I care about because I enjoy this industry. I enjoy talking about marketing. I enjoy talking strategy. I got to do that with these guys. And do I think everything is perfect about the brand? No. Do I think they could be more forward with some numbers? Sure, absolutely. But do I think that they're not like really trying their hardest to make an impact on this? Yeah, I definitely think they are. I think they're putting it all out there, and they're just a small business that's trying to carve out their space in the market, and I respect that. I respect the hustle there. I respect their dedication to what they're doing. I appreciate the time that they set aside to talk with me, who's just a guy who's trying to start this channel and wants to talk about it, marketing, and talk about all of this stuff that I'm interested in. So I appreciate the fact that they let us come down and chat with them. You decide. What do you think about them? What do you think about Super 73? Was any of this information that I shared helpful? Leave a comment on your thoughts, and I'd love to respond to you. And again, if you need any help with advertising strategy, anything digital marketing related, let me know. Hit me up. hello@mongo.digital. You can check out Mongo Digital's Instagram page here, mongo.digital as well, and give us a follow. We're a new account and we're growing. And I hope you guys have a great day. I hope this was helpful. And yeah, have a great day. See you guys.